All right, I'll be back. Give me a second, guys. All right. What? Oh. All right, hold on. Yeah. All right. My bad. All right, we got this 5-minute range set. So, let's see what happens. Not a huge range, but we had that huge sell-off pre-market. So, crazy to see. Said I put $1 billion short in. Let's see how this thing goes. This thing continue. The question is, does this thing continue to go down, or do we get trying to push back up to the upside, but we got view up there. All right. All right. News-wise, forgot to check the news. What news do we have? PMI at 945. And then 10 a.m. Final services PMI 945, and then ISM services PMI 10 a.m. So gotta watch out for news at 9:45 and 10. We'll keep an eye out on that. So it's got some room to the upside, but there's a lot of gaps in the way, so hopefully we can get a setup here. We got like 7 minutes till that news comes out. I don't know if price is going to be chopping around till that news comes out, or all right, let's see higher time frames. Obviously, hourly chart's gonna look wild. So there's that pullback on the hourly chart, and then kind of rejecting right now off the 200 on the 15-minute chart. Got a massive gap that it kind of tapped into, now rejecting off of. So a lot of wicks to the downside. So right now we're pretty choppy still. We'll kind of see what let me zoom out just a little bit. Lost 2,000. Oh gosh. Be careful. Starting to kind of go down here. Testing a low down there. This 5-minute low still holding above it. Price unpredicted. Kind of see what this see what happens after news. Kind of seems like it's waiting for the news to come out. Still chopping inside this 5-minute range. Question is, to what side does this break to? I kind of hope it chops around until news, and then once we get news, then it kind of goes its direction. Just because if I get a setup on my TPT accounts, I can't take a trade. I'll take it on my Apex, but I have to be flat 1 minute before and 1 minute after news on my TPT accounts. So just chopping sideways for now. No, so it's for major impact news. But they said the problem is they said PM, like they have PMI, but there are PMI major event news like today, this morning. there's a PMI yellow folder and a PMI red folder. So it's like, I don't know. It should be for only it should be only for red folder news, not yellow folder. But you know how some of these prop firms work. It's like, who knows? I just try to play it safe. I don't even want to take a yellow folder news event on these accounts just in case. I don't want them to say, you know, oh, you took a trade on news event when it was just yellow folder. I feel like they could use that as an excuse to deny a payout or something, but technically, yeah, it should be only for red folder. But I try to, like I said, I just try to play it safe, just to not cause any problems down the road. Big time frame, we have Adam and Eve pattern. I don't know what an Adam and Eve pattern is. We got 1 minute till news. Google it. What's an Adam and Eve pattern? Is this some ICT thing? Oh, well, why do they call it Adam and Eve? Oh, it's on a higher time frame. I mean, it's interesting. I've never heard of that before. I only trade what I only trade what I back tested. But yeah, that's interesting. I've never heard of it before. All right, news came out. Obviously didn't do anything because it's yellow folder, but we got 10 a.m. news too. I'm just waiting for this thing to break out of a direction. As long as it chops inside here without breaking out to one direction, it's there's nothing to do. Maybe it comes back up, takes the high before going lower again. Got a lot of selling pressure. You can see these wicks on the, even on the 1 minute. Probably see them better on a 5 minute chart though. Yeah, look at the wicks on the 5 minute. A lot of selling pressure coming in at these highs. So maybe we push up and kind of take out this high and close back inside the range would be beautiful to see. We got a pivot point up here that kind of holds it down too. Rejected off that pivot point as market opened. Bow, bow. It will go up and then drop about 25,206. Yeah, I mean, I hope that happens. That's a good. Kind of want to see like a Kind of want to see it take out these highs. Man, it is really. I wonder if they're waiting for the 10 a.m. news now. Let's spot this. No, this Nasdaq. Man, that 10 a.m. news comes out in 12 minutes. It's just been sideways. Oh man, are we gonna chop till 10 a.m.? This is crazy. Win me some money. I can't do that. Alright, getting some movement back down. Let's see if this thing closes outside the range. Nope, still bouncing off. Wow, this is crazy. I guess they're gonna chop it around till 10. I mean, that news will probably do something, so I'm assuming everyone's kind of staying out. You gotta think too. The algorithm, like the algos that the hedge funds use, they're adjusted to for the news. So that's why a lot of times you get chop right before a news event. Nobody's really trying to. Everyone's trying to wait till after news comes out. I mean, to me, it really doesn't matter what direction it goes. I don't really care. Dang, this chop is crazy. Be careful. A lot of people are probably getting chopped up right now trying to... See, on a 15-minute chart, we are rejecting that 200. So, but you go to an hourly chart, and we have room for the kind of bouncing off a pivot point there. We're above the 200. 5-minute chart, obviously below the 200, so. All right, is this the break? Will it close below this range? Yep, there's the close. Buyer stepping back into the range. I like to see that. Nice. See how this ends up working out. There's the next. All right, nope, nothing. Should probably wait till. If I do, I exit out early on the. Actually, hold on, my TPT accounts, let me. Come on, are you kidding me? Yeah, I know it's scary. I'm gonna cancel it if it. I'm putting my stop in just in. It's not getting me in. All right. All right. I think I'm gonna wait till after news. This freaking sucks because this is a setup. So, but news is literally. I'm not gonna let it wick me in. So. Oh my gosh, I freaking hate news, dude. Why does news have to come out at 10 a.m.? Why can't they release that shit at like 8:30 all the time? Why does it have to be now? Ugh. All right. 30 seconds till news. Obviously, might as well stay out now. "15 seconds. Apex didn't give any more reset account. What do you mean? Reset account, just... Oh my gosh. Bruh. That's exactly the move I was looking for. What is... Bruh, I cannot, like... I'm about to go on tilt, man. Ugh! Bro, how many times does this have to happen to me? Like... It couldn't have just filled me. That's why I had that limit order in even before news. Right inside this gap right here. I was trying to get filled off this gap for these highs up here. Like, bro, why? We need to sign a petition to stop freaking releasing news at 10 a.m. Actually, it didn't really matter. News didn't matter because it wouldn't have filled me anyways. I had my order in at right here, 473s. 473s was my order, and then my TP would have been these body candle highs up here. So TP would have got hit right there. It's just frustrating because that's like this is the third time in a row where it's hit my TP and it didn't fill the gap. Bro, y'all know how frustrating that is? Yeah, it's bearish, but this was my setup right here. Typically, if it's this close, I mean, nah, that's still too far away. I was gonna say market in, could have marketed in, but that news screwed me up too. Like, but y'all saw I was waiting. I had my order in, even though news was coming out. I had my order in. I really wanted to see it push up there. Exactly the move I was looking for. That's a red flag for the sellers right there. That's why this is my strategy, where when it closes below this range and steps back in and leaves an imbalance inside the range, that's a sign that buyers are stepping in aggressive. That gives you a hint that buyers are stepping in aggressive, possibly pushing for a body candle high or a high up there. And as you can see, we kind of chopped around, formed this gap, and we were chopping around here. had my limit order in, but never. Look how close it came to filling in that gap, my limit, and never did. Like, why? Is it really that hard to just freaking tap into that imbalance? Just slightly, just a quick tap, just bink, bink. Just a quick tap, and then you can rip it up. But I was willing to even take it. I mean, just based off of my data, when I usually take, most of the time, even if there's a news event, it still, my strategy ends up working. Like, there's been a few times where I took it before news, if I get a setup before news, and got stopped out. Most of the time it works out. So that's why I know people say it's stupid buying before news, but if it works and, I get a setup right before news, why not? But once it hits TP, that's it. That order gets canceled. Now we're ripping to the upside. Man, this is so frustrating, man. So many missed opportunities. Oh, because I don't get an entry. I mean, maybe I would have marketed in. Nah, it's not worth marketing in. Yeah, it's a 1-minute chart. Now we're still ripping to the upside. We're coming into an area of resistance now. So if you look on a higher time frame, right, we're tapping into like the 50% of this gap pretty much. We're coming into also these supports now that turned into resistance. So gotta be careful here. What, bro? I'm confused. What is this candle from? Is that just, was there news or something? There wasn't any news. Tried to see if there was anything that happened, but that's a crazy candle. Now, is this going to hold that support, or are we going to chop back down? Tapping slightly inside the range. If this thing holds this high, then we got room to the upside. If it fails and we start dropping back down, so far there's not really a sign that it wants to go back down. We're below view op, rejecting the 200, obviously, so it's going to be a kind of a red flag for the bears. If we start breaking out of this high right here, it's kind of a red flag for the bears. Right now, the bears could still have it because we're still below view op. But we're not getting that selling pressure come in. I'm selling. Well, we'll see how this thing plays out. If it holds this, it's trying to hold it as support. If it fails to hold as support and we get kind of start displacing back down, I mean, right now, right, bears are still in control. Even though we've ripped up, bears are still in control, so we could see movement back down. I think it's a red flag if we start breaking above the high. As of now, I mean, seems like not enough selling pressure is coming in. So I would be careful. We got a lot of levels to get through to really rip up, but I feel like this thing could just explode to the upside at any point. But like I said, as long as we stay below this 574 level, I think bears are pretty good. Oh, what a bummer, man. This bothers me. I feel like missing out on a trade bothers me more than losing. But, I mean, I gotta just tell myself there's nothing I could have done. I mean, there's literally nothing. Even though I knew the direction, I kind of figured the direction. But it just sucks, man. It's just like, I don't know, lately, man, I have some good months, and lately it's just been a lot of opportunities set himself up lately, but I just don't get the entries. This is like the third time in a row it's happened, which I do get streaks like that. I guess it's better than taking a loss, but it's just when you see missed opportunities stack on each other where you get a setup but don't get an entry, get a setup but don't get an entry, get a setup but don't get an entry, and it's like you look back and you're like, crap, that would have been like freaking almost $10,000 just on those 3 setups. But here's the problem that I gotta be careful with, right? I can't just start, because I'm getting setups but it's not giving me the entry I want. I can't just start marketing in and just FOMOing in, because then that starts to get ugly, right? Because next time what's going to happen is if I FOMO into a trade and it ends up being a loss and I lose way more money than I wanted to, that's going to mess me up. So it's kind of like either it gives you the pullback like here. If it would have gave me the pullback, that would have been a really good risk to reward, right? I mean, I would be risking pretty much, let's say, TP, I would be risking about 10 20, 30, 40, about 45 points. 45 points of risk for that fill for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55. So 45 point risk, 55 point TP. And pretty much came, what? It was, that low was 477. My order was sitting at 473s. So 4 points away from filling me. Taking profits from it, nice. Take your profits if you have them. Don't be greedy. We're getting a big wick on the 15-minute though. It's a pretty nasty wick. Look at that. Look at the 15-minute candle. Pretty big wicks to the downside. So we possibly do have room to the downside.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
We're really not getting that selling pressure really stepping in. It's just kind of chopping sideways. What's going on? What's going on? AMD. Is there no more news? No. That was pretty much the major news events. We got yeah, crude oil at 10:30, but obviously that doesn't really matter. And then Trump is speaking at 2:30. U.S. services PMI at 52.6% November. Economic activity continued to expand in November, saying nations purchasing and supply activities. $52.6 forecasted 52. Okay, that's bullish. We did better than expected on that PMI news, which is why it kind of ripped. I told you, be careful, because when we try to go down like this and it keeps failing to go down, that could be like, you know, a warning sign to be careful. If the sellers aren't really stepping in, then can't force the market to do, you know, what you want it to do. If we start breaking out of that high, that's gonna be... We're tapping into view op right now. Uh-oh. Not looking good for bears. Be careful. Be careful. Oh, wow. Okay. 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 Bruh. 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 This is a tough area. I mean, this is kind of a 50-50 shot. So far, the Bears still have it in control. They're below the view op. It's still in bearish territory. So, still, in my opinion, still a higher probability this thing goes down than up. Just because we're where we are, but that doesn't mean we're going to go up, or that we can't go up. So I like to wait for confirmations, right? I'm very big on whatever strategy you use. I'm very big on make sure you have some kind of system that gives you confirmations, right? Like for me, when people were earlier, when people saw me trying to long right before news, I don't recommend it, but it's just based on my data. Like I said, I know it just ends up, usually works out based on my data. So why was I trying to long right there? Right where that gap is. Why was I trying to long there? Well, you got to think about it, right? We were chopping. 5-minute range opened up. We were chopping this whole time. Chopping, chopping, chopping. Then we finally broke out of the 5-minute range and faked out. So it was like a fake out. So broke out, faked out, back inside the range. And then once we left that gap, you see all the buyers stepping in. I'm like, all right, this thing probably, wants to go at least for these body candle highs up there, which is why I put in my long, because I figured buying pressure stepping back inside this range, we could go for these highs up here. And it's pretty much what we did. Took out those highs. Now we're kind of just chopping sideways. But that's my thought process really behind that. I really love those fake outs. I'm like a fake out person. When price goes and then closes outside the 5-minute range and fakes back out inside, typically a good sign, especially when it leaves a gap. Hasn't taken out these lows yet. Now we do get, sometimes around 10:30, we do get a sell-off. So that is kind of, time is in your favor in a sense of, I've seen it happen a lot of times where, 10:30 rolls around and we start rolling back to the downside. If we've kind of pushed up. You'll see that kind of similarity. A lot of times NASDAQ likes to rip up to the upside at 10 a.m., around 10 a.m., and then sell off sometimes around 10:30. I don't know why that happens, but I've seen it. This is like... This is, you gotta be careful with this to not to get not keep getting chopped up like this. Oh man, I could see it happening where people are just keep getting chopped up. Loving the price action. I do like this price action. I really do. I really do, but the only thing, like I said, I'm not liking is it's not filling those imbalances. It's the only thing that's kind of like, we got a setup this morning, but it didn't fill that imbalance, so I couldn't get into the trade. Buying scalp? Yeah, if you're scalping it, but make sure you have a system of like, you know, having rules where to buy, where to sell, not just, maybe some people are good. I don't know, like, so I hear some people talk about, I caught shorts at market open, you know, that went lucky. Did short back down and small profit. Nice, small profit. Profit is profit. So, that's good. But, yeah, some people, I've been hearing recently a lot of people talk about, like, this discretionary trading. I don't know, I guess if it works, I don't think anybody should be, this is my opinion, I don't think anybody should be trading discretionarily unless you've been trading for like 6-7 years. Like, you don't, when I heard this recently actually, another trader posted a video talking about how he trades discretionarily. Like, bruh, really? Like, question is, do you really have that much market experience to trade discretionarily? If you're somebody who has only been trading for like a year, you can't, I don't think you have enough market experience to be able to trade discretionarily. Like the pros that have been doing it for like 6, 7, 8 years, they've been doing it for so long that they have the discretion. But when you've been doing it for a year and you're like, I trade discretionarily, like, bro, really? Discretionarily? Just say you don't know what you're doing. Just say you're buying at random areas. Don't use discretion as a as a coping mechanism for not having a plan. I just do discretionary trading. Okay. Yep. Let's see how that works out for you. And when I buy a car to resell, I buy it discretionarily. Right? If I said that in the car business, people would laugh at me and be like, "You're a moron." Just got max allocation on Top Step. Nice, nice. Be patient. Tell me why Bookmap has gone mainstream and now heat map usable. Heat levels more consistently now. Yeah, I haven't traded with Bookmap in a long time. I just feel like it messes me up. I really do feel like it messes me up. It's unusable? I don't think it has anything to do with like people using it, because most of the people trading that like retail with prop firms, they're all sim accounts, so it's not like, you know. Holy chop, dude. It's just chopping sideways. It's always been like that. Yeah, the problem I didn't like with Bookmap is it just gave me a bias. I don't like to have biases. Me personally, when I come into the market, like the 5-minute range I was saying earlier, I don't have a bias, but once it faked out like that, then I'm like, all right, we can go up now. That gives me that confirmation. So when I hop into the market, I'm not biased at all. I have no idea whether the market's gonna rip to the upside or the downside. I play whatever price action shows me that could happen, right? So if I have Bookmap open and I open it up and I see let's just say I saw a massive order for shorts down there, a massive order sitting at, let's call it 410s. If there was a massive heat sitting at 410s down here, then I would be like super biased. And I'd be like, all right, it's probably going to go lower because we have all those levels down there. And then I start to disregard my rules and what technically my strategy is telling me something else. And it just gets to, you have to have a perfect level of confluences, because too little confluences is not good, and then too much confluences is also not good, because then stuff starts contradicting each other and you're just like sitting there with analysis paralysis. You don't get what I'm saying? What were you talking? You said it went Bookmap has gone mainstream and now heat map, I'm assuming that unusable. Well, heat map is just a visual image of level 2, so all right, pushing down now. I mean, that this kind of is another bearish sign. We made a high, made a lower high, another lower high. So we're failing to break these highs, which we'll see once it kind of breaks this low. I think so. We are still rejecting off. See, this 5-minute. We are still rejecting off this. So we could go lower. I mean, if I see it, I see it possibly going lower, because if we can't break above this 200, we could start dropping all the way down to the lows and further. And you got to think about it. You see this low down here, this low right here. If you notice, price when it came down, it never took out that low. So this low, that low never got taken out. So you can see it's still. So we still have room to potentially come down there and take out that low. Holy crap. This freaking manipulations are wild. Holy. Wow. Ugh. They said nope. Nope. Oh, so many people just got trapped. Dang, what a trap. It's almost like they were doing that on purpose just to trap people so they could take it higher. Or maybe take it lower. Maybe this is a trap to go lower. Did you do a trade? No, I had a limit order right here. Inside this gap this morning, right before news actually. I had a limit order to buy for a long for a TP up here, but you could kind of see these wicks right here. It never filled me. I had a limit order sitting there, and it just kept coming close, and then eventually just took off without me, so I never got filled, which sucks, but it is what it is. I still am happy, I mean, that, like, I see the strategy, like, the theory still works, so it's just I didn't get the fill I wanted. Trust me, it bothers me, man. It bothers me when that happens, but I just gotta stick to time for long. Be careful. You don't wanna. This could be a fake. Who knows? This could be a fake out to the down to take it lower. You know. That does happen where it seems like it's going lower. It seems like it wants to go lower, and then they take it back up, take out the highs, and then they take it lower. But if this thing, right, I would wait for a displacement. Right, wait for price to really start displacing above it and then come back and retest it as a support. Because you don't want to get caught in a sweep. That's the only thing you don't want, is for it to push up like this and then you're trying to get long and then it just tanks to the downside. You don't want to be caught in a sweep. Let them do what they want to do, and then you're like the little fish. You just kind of swim on their backs. If you see what they want to do, then you could, you know, price maybe rips up, all the way up here, displaces, and then kind of pulls back to hold it as support and then take it. That's a better probability than trying to predict and trying to guess, you know, trying to get long right here to guess that it's going to go up. Why not wait for the confirmation that it wants to go, that it's going up? And that's where patience just comes in. Because people are going to start longing here, and this thing is going to drop right back down. Out of a buy. Nice. Nice. Yeah. It's all, that's pretty much all you could do. You have a theory. You have your stop in place, and you take the trade. Either you take the trade or you don't. But we are above UOP. We're above the 200. Now, if you look on the 15-minute chart, right, we're now pushing above that 200, which is a, you know, it's a good sign for bulls. Now we're in bullish. We were in bearish territory down here. Now we're in bullish territory. We're above the 200 and we're above UOP. Not to say we can't just straight dump to the downside, but just overall sentiment. Now we got more, you know, bullish price action up here. But pay attention to like an hourly chart. Look what's going on. We're bullish, but look what we're tapping into right now. Look at all this resistance up here. Right? We got this old support level on the hourly chart. Now that's tapping into as a resistance level, possibly. So don't be surprised if price comes up here and starts rejecting, because it can happen. So now we are at an area, it's like, that's why I say wait for confirmations, because we are at an area where we could go up, but we could also, there's a likelihood we could reject off of here. Just based on higher time frame. Buy scalp to view op. Oh, all right. You bought down here to view up. Yeah. See, that's good. You understand that it could reject off of view up. So you have, and look how many times it did reject off of view up. I mean, here it pushed a little bit above view up, but here it pretty much tapped into view up, tapped perfectly off of view up. So I view up is a pretty powerful indicator. As gauges, right? Like you're using view up the way you're using indicators the way it should be used. Not take shorts and whatever off of, but you use it as a gauge. If you're in a long and it's pushing up to view up, potentially, you know, get out of your long because it could reject off of view up. And do you really want to be caught in that rejection all the way back down? Long if it hits fair value gap? No. I don't think that's a good. I mean, you do what you want to, you know. I can't tell you if it's, you know, good or bad. It's just the way I look at it is, right? If we do push even down here to the 5 minute, we would be below view up. To me, as long as it holds above view up, it's bullish. Once it starts breaking back down below view up, then it turns bearish. And we did tap into this gap, and now we're. But I'm personally, right? I don't like to try to guess. Like, okay, try to guess. Oh, it could, you know. I mean, I see why it would be a, you know, why somebody would want to buy this, kind of. But here's what you got to ask yourself, right? Just because you know that it could tap into this gap and start pushing up, where would your stop be? That's the other question you have to ask yourself, right? Technically, for a trade like this, an invalidation stop would have to be the lows, right? These lows would technically be the area where that trade would be invalidated. If you're trying to, you know, take a scalp off this gap just for these highs up here and your stop is all the way down there, that's a bad trade. Even if you make money on this trade, that's a bad trade because you're risking way too much for little reward. And you got to ask yourself, is it worth me taking the risk? Because we are tapping into a resistance area right here. So do you think price is going to have enough momentum to get for those highs? It could, but we're going to see some selling pressure probably step in here. That's exactly why you see price, it's having a hard time going up. Why? I mean, you zoom out on a higher time frame and then you're like, oh, I understand why it's having a hard time. Me personally, I like when price, you know, shoots straight to TP. Like, you understand, like, this trade right here. Why did price shoot straight to TP? There's nothing stopping price from not going straight to TP. You look to the left, there's no gaps. There's nothing that's stopping price from going from this area to these, to the least these body candle highs up there. And you can see how fast it went to that area. Versus when you have something like this, right, where you have gaps in the way, right, you start to kind of chop more sideways because it has more gaps, more imbalances. So the more things that are stopping price from going to a certain area, the more it's going to chop sideways, typically. I see. Thanks for the advice, man. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, always pay attention to higher time frames and ask yourself, right? Trading is a game of probabilities. And you got to ask yourself every trade, is it worth the probability? Like, is there more chance that it's going to go up or is it going to go down? You want to buy, typically, you want to buy when you're like, all right, I've backtested this. This is a 80% chance that this goes to my TP because I backtested it. I know the backtesting behind it. So when you get the setup, you're like, this has an 80%, you know, chance of going there. So then you're more confident. I feel like the pickier you are with trading, the better off you are. Obviously, pickiness goes, you know, it goes with your rules. You can't just be analysis paralysis picky and just you're scared to take every trade and you're thinking you're just picky. Oh, all right. Stop loss from sell. Yeah. Good risk management. If you get stopped out, right, it's fine. It's going to happen. Right? You took a winner, you took a loser. It's part of the game. As long as you get stopped out and don't hold your stop and just go, oh, it's going to go down. It's going to go down. There's a resistance here. It's going to go down. You just never want to be put in that situation, because then sometimes you get rewarded for doing that, and then there's going to be that one time where it blows your account. The amount of times, I've gotten stopped out and it ran straight to my TP, it's like, but it happens, you know? It's just a part of trading that you gotta, you know. All right. I think I'm done for today. I'm out. Ugh. So, not bad price action, to be honest. This is pretty decent price action. Just, again, did not get the freaking fill. So, that being said, I'm gonna hop off. I'll be back tomorrow again. We'll see tomorrow if we get anything. But thanks for stopping by. Stay safe. Don't overtrade. Can you explain backtesting real quick? Yeah, backtesting is just going back. If you have a strategy that you want to, for example, use, or pretty much any strategy you see, right? You go back in history. I do manual backtesting. Some people get like programs and stuff. I get manual backtesting where I go back, say, 2 months, and I go through every single day and go through the trade and go, all right, here's the trade setup. All right, this trade was a winning trade. All right, let's go to the next day. All right, this trade was a losing trade. All right, let's go to the next day. All right, this trade was a winning trade. And you kind of go day by day by day by day and kind of back test it and then take the data on it. How much losing trades did you take in a row? What's the win rate over the course of 2 months? What kind of win rate did it have? And just kind of go through that, and that gives you more confidence. And then you forward test it where you actually, you know, you test it in a sim or however you want to do it. Then you forward test that strategy. You know, and then you have data behind what you're wanting to take. So then when you try to take the setup, you have data behind it. So that's pretty much what a back test is. But all right, I'll be back tomorrow. If you want to stop by, I'll be here. Hopefully we get some decent price action. Today was pretty good. Hopefully tomorrow is going to be similar. But y'all stay safe. Don't overtrade. Be patient. Preserve your capital. Take profit. And yeah.